Next in our tour of Google applications, let's talk about Google Forms. Tons of versatility, lots of possibilities on both ends, good activities for students to create their own forms and to utilize the forms that you, the teacher, may have created. Today, I want a form that goes with this chapter. I've worked up some material for it and taught it before, but I have an idea for another piece. So to do that, I'm in Google Drive. I'm in the folder where I want this to create. I'm going to go over here to New and down to More, and I'm going to get to Google Forms. That's going to create this form inside that folder where I want it, where I can find it again. And I'm going to start by figuring out what kind of a thing I want to make. Google Forms are great for a wide variety of purposes. If you want to make this a self-grading quiz, you can do that. If you want to make it an anticipation guide, just to see what anybody knows before the chapter or the unit or the topic starts, you can do that. If you want to embed a video and have students watch the video and answer questions about it, you can do it all from right here. You can make it a survey where you can see all the results. You can make it a pre-test, you can make it a post-test. I use these for exit tickets to find out what worked and what didn't and get student opinions and get some feedback from students who aren't going to raise their hands and tell you things in class. They'll tell you on a form. This is the first decision. What kind of a thing do you want this to be? This one for me is an anticipation guide. So I want to know what my students already know about some of these topics and see what I really need to address and what I just need to reinforce. First thing you've got to do is give it a title. So this, I start with the chapter title. That's just how I've gotten to put things together so I can find them again. And I want to be sure I know what it is. This isn't the pretest. This is a very low impact, give me a place to start from kind of a thing. You can put in the description, maybe the name of the chapter or the textbook or what it is you want them to do. Are they looking for what it is or what it isn't? Can they select more than one answer? What is it that's going to happen? From there, you've got your first question. You want to add another question? You'll go over here to the plus. You want to add a title and a description to it, that's over here as well. If you want to add an image, be careful adding images. If the image is the picture of the right answer, students will just hover over it and see what the caption says and they'll know the answer. I like to put in pictures on everything so that that picture doesn't really help them. Here's where you would add a video, which we'll talk about in another episode. And here's where you would add another section if you're trying to divide things up by section. That gets a little more complicated, but really it's the click of a button. I don't need sections for this. I just need spots for my questions. You have in the drop down, the default is the multiple choice question, which works for all kinds of content. You can also put in short answers and paragraph spots if you want more of a written response. You are going to have to check those. Just be aware. I have yet to get a Google form to grade a short answer question correctly no matter what I do. So I know if I put in short answer or paragraph, I'm going to have to review that before I release the scores, which is fine. It's still easier than doing it other ways that I've tried. Multiple choice question will only let you select one right answer, but you can make as many choices as you want. Checkboxes will let students select more than one correct answer, which is handy. A drop down will show them the options in a drop down. They won't all be right there in anybody's way. They won't be visible at first, but they'll be able to see them. If you want to upload a file, if you want to put in a linear scale, on a scale of 1 to 5, how effective was this? On a scale of whatever to whatever, and you get to label that however you want to, here's what this activity worked like. Multiple choice grid and a checkbox grid will go more in depth later on, and the date and the time if you want that inserted for when they took it and how that works. So, it's my untitled question. All of my choices are going to be ethical or unethical, and I'm going to give my students a variety of situations and try to get them to think about what's ethical and what's unethical in this anticipation guide. So I'm going to set that up first. I'm going to go right here to duplicate. This is going to duplicate that untitled question with my two answer choices, as many of these as I think I want. So 3 for now. I can put in whatever the situation is, copying somebody else's work or cropping out the copyright symbol on a picture to use in an assignment. Ethical or unethical, and they're going to select it. I can make this question required, which will not let them submit the form until they've answered all the questions. I highly recommend that. If you don't, you're going to discover that people don't answer the questions. If you want every question to be answered, you want to select that. You'll notice the little star next to them. It won't let them submit the form until they've answered. So that's the first step, is having some content. Your title will transfer, and you'll go through and create your questions. Whatever kind of question you want, you can have multiple kinds within the same form. It just depends on what your purposes are and what end result you're looking for. So first step, content. Next, we get a little fancier.